Hello, friends. I am going to present my research paper in the National E-Conference organized by BP Arts, SMA Science, and KKC Commerce College, Chalisgaon. My research topic is zoos are the best sites for wildlife conservation. Myself, Dr. Anil Khole, Assistant Professor in Zoology, B. Raghunath College, Parvani. A zoo is a facility in which animals are housed within enclosures cared for, displayed to the public, and in some cases spaces breed for conservation purpose. Zoos also support in situ conservation projects and contribute to valuable research and practical conservation efforts worldwide. Whatever the endangered species, they are preserved in the zoos through the in situ and ex situ conservation projects, and these zoos they particularly they are housed within enclosures and where the care of animals is done. The main aspect of any zoo for keeping wild animals in captivity should directly benefit those wild population. The benefits of conservation efforts as breeding, as species reintroduction. So whatever the species which are in endangered position throughout world, with the help of these zoos, these species they get benefit of conservation, and through these zoos the efforts of breeding of this special endangered type of species and they are reintroduced. Then the histories, if you see the histories of zoos and wilderness in America have been intertwined for 150 years. Then visiting a zoo is one of a kind of experience when we look animals closer. Many zoos across the world attract a large number of tourists. Day by day, the tourists they get attracted towards these zoos for see the animals. Then zoos have a very long history. If you see historically, zoos they shows very long history. Keeping wild and exotic animals captive was already known in ancient Greek and Roman times. So when we see the historical period, that particular zoos they are we can say established from the ancient period by the Greeks and Romans. Then the if you see in India, Sri Chamaran Jendra Zoological Gardens, the oldest zoo in Indian history. It is introduced or it is established from 1892. It is placed near Mysore, Karnataka. Then the in discussion, the collection of captive animals are unique and invaluable resources for conservation. It was noticed that there is a flow of information from zoo for researchers that assist in providing new sights into species biology. Then from last 3 decades, zoos undertaken initiatives, for example, in the fields of reproductive genetic technologies, and highlights their significance for conservation and management of threatened species. So we Indians they well known about the species like tiger. These tigers, they are specially, if you see that they are conserved in specially created sanctuaries. Then with the help of the advanced technique, certain initiatives like the fields of reproductive, then genetic technologies, and highlights their significance for the conservation and management of threatened species. Nowadays, we know that the population of tiger is get increased with the help of the whatever the conservation whatever the techniques, conservation techniques, they are used throughout India. Then it is evident that zoo research has a vital role in linking in situ and ex situ conservation. Then the zoo are an important part of the current leisure and tourism industries in all countries. Studies show historically zoos have changed from purely entertaining sites to facilitates aimed at raising and protecting animals. So throughout world, if you see historically, zoos play an important role, that whatever the species, plants and animals, they are preserved or they are conserved in these sites, and particularly these sites, the zoos, they play an important role, that the entertaining, they are also show the entertainment for the tourists, and also by the process that is of protecting animals. Current trends in their development point to the growing importance of zoos as entertainment facilities. Nowadays, peoples from all over the world, they are interested to visit the zoos and see whatever the animals which are conserved or which are placed in these zoos. World Association of Zoos and Aquarium now consists of more than 1,200 institutions which together attract over 600 million visitors per annum. So whatever the research work done throughout world, as the results shows that whatever the zoos or aquariums throughout world, that is near about 1,200 institutes, they shows that near about 6 million peoples or the visitors, they visit per annum to these zoos. Then the education and entertainment. Today, zoos are identified as sites of conservation, research, education, and entertainment. The research shows that a trip to the zoo can substantially enhance the knowledge of children about science and conservation of wildlife animals. Actually, when these students, they see these endangered species, whatever present in the zoos, or whatever the species of animals which are present in zoos, with the help of these species, the childrens or whatever the students, they get attracted towards them, and it play an important role to study them. Then zoo trips can be considered an educational value in addition to book or classroom teaching. So if you see in biology syllabus, it is compulsory that to make a tour to or trip to the zoos, and it is a compulsion in all syllabus throughout India. Then it play an important role in the particularly in the it having educational value, and the knowledge of this particular we can say that the knowledge which get through this trip is in addition to the book or in the classroom teaching. Then wildlife attractions often justify their existence with a mission to educate children and adults about important issues like biodiversity and conservation challenges. Wildlife attractions can also play a crucial role in educating the wider public about global issues such as climate change, and the anthropogenic activities, which is we can say that made by human beings. These particular we can say the anthropogenic activities or the climate change problem, it creates certain problem to the biodiversity. Then the conservation of threatened species. The threatened species is defined as any species which is likely to become an endangered species within the foreseeable feature throughout all or a significant portion of its range. The conservation of biodiversity is achieved by two approaches, that is in situ and ex situ. In order to ensure the maintenance of biodiversity, advanced techniques are being used now for ex situ conservation. The gametes of threatened species can be preserved in a viable and fertile condition for long periods. So whatever the species, endangered species, as we have seen the example that is of tiger, or there are number of examples like vultures, the particular gametes of these endangered species, or we can say threatened species, they are preserved in a particular condition, that is viable or in a fertile condition for longer periods. Then the ex situ conservation, that is also known as the offset conservation. It is the process of protecting an endangered species, variety or breed of plant or animal outside its natural habitat in a new location, like the zoos, they are preserved in that. The ex situ conservation include botanic gardens, zoos, field gene banks, and the gene banks. In situ conservation maintains species in dynamic relationships with the habitat and allows gene flow and geographical distribution. In situ conservation allows evolutionary and ecological processes to take place and promotes genetic variability and adaptability of species to changing environmental conditions. Therefore, the conservation of biodiversity is best achieved in natural ecosystems. For example, that is protected areas like zoos, the areas in which the systems and on farming conservation is done. And the conclusion of my research paper, in conclusion, the conclusion is based on the literature review. Zoos have become increasingly important in conservation of threatened wildlife. They are also important for educational and recreational purposes. However, zoos generally are poorly developed and lack adequate funding. Biodiversity is being lost at an alarming rate due to natural and, more importantly, anthropogenic factors. The threats to biodiversity are agricultural expansion, overexploitation, urbanization and industrialization, pollution, fire incidents, exotic species, and global climate change, which are all driven by human population growth. The conservation of biodiversity is achieved by two approaches, that is in situ and ex situ. In order to ensure the maintenance of biodiversity, there is a need to employ complementary in situ and ex situ conservation process. The institutions, conservation organizations, practitioners, and all other relevant stockholders around the world need to work closely for conserving biodiversity and improving human well-being. Thank you very much. And lastly, I congratulate to the organizers for organizing this national conference. Thank you.